All right, so I have met everybody but Katie's friend. Tina.
Yes.
Have I seen you before here?
Not here.
No, okay. We've had a couple public events, and so sometimes people bring friends, and my face memory can be a little off. But I'm Regan Tilley. This is Whole Health MHK. This is kind of my labor of love. It's a functional medicine family practice, but I'm trying to give benefit for all of the things. So including food, lifestyle, mindfulness, spirituality, all of the good stuff. We try to nurture that here. So today I wanted to share one of my favorite fast meals. So this is like a 20-minute meal. It really takes very little time to make. It's extremely healthy, it's delicious, and it's something that you can put together and people will think you slaved over. It's not a big deal. So the other thing a lot of people that see me have problems with is certain ingredients. So gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, that's our food today. We meet all of those. So this is a plant-based mayonnaise. I'm not going to use it unless you guys really want me to mix it with the slaw, but it's one of those optional steps that you can use to make a creamy slaw. I like more of a vinaigrette slaw on fish tacos. So again, if I had all the time and had a big preparatory kitchen that I could teach out of, I would chop my own cabbage for you and all of that, but we're just gonna use tricolor cabbage. And I'm gonna show you what I do to make that, and while we cook the fish and talk about the other ingredients, we'll let it kind of marinate together and get delicious. What I have here is a very basic vinaigrette. We're gonna use citrus, we're gonna use salt and pepper. I'm gonna put a little tiny bit of the chipotle. What I like about this is it's MSG free, gluten free, dairy free. If you look at a lot of spice mixes, there's a lot of hidden ingredients. This doesn't have sugar or anything in it, so this is the real deal. It's just the spices.
What's the brand of that?
You can only get it at Hy-Vee, and it's called Conrico, Konriko. So it is a favorite in our house. We use it on chicken. We'll dice up chicken tenders and eat those. I eat it like a salad. My husband puts it in tortillas and eats it like fish or chicken tacos. And then I learned that it's amazing on the fish. It gives it a wonderful flavor. So I'm just gonna juice 1 lemon and 1 lime over the coleslaw. And I use lemon and lime just because it gives it just a little bit brighter flavor. And I love these. If you have joint pain or arthritis, squeezing lemons and limes can be one of the most painful things you have to do. So I don't have as much pain as I used to have, fortunately, but this is a lifesaver. All right, the one ingredient I didn't grab because it was here is the salt and pepper. It's above the microwave in the grinder. Thanks, Rhonda. So we're gonna put that in there. I like to put just a splash of olive oil in it because otherwise it's just kind of a flat, watery type salad. And so this just kind of lets things bind together. This is best for cooking, the light olive oil. It has a higher flash point, but I'm multitasking here. At home I use the white or light olive oil too. And I just give it a little bit of a drizzle in there. And then we'll mix it all together and let that sit. The other thing I do, because I like a little bit of a sweeter flavor, is a couple drops of stevia. This is pure stevia. A little bit goes a really long way, so I just drop a couple drops over there, and that gives you a little bit more of that sweeter flavor. And then I give just a tiny bit of the chipotle season just to blend it all together. Find it.
I didn't know you could buy it mixed together.
Yeah, all the fun things, all the spices. Himalayan pink salt and peppercorns. So I look for anything and everything that doesn't have fillers. I have been shocked by going grocery shopping and trying to get iodized salt. There's 6 ingredients now in iodized salt, including sugar. I don't know why we need sugar in our salt, except for the fact that Americans are allowed to have food warfare played on them. Sugar's addictive, add it to salt, then you're addicted to sugar sweet. It's the whole McDonald's French fry thing, over and over. So I'm trying to mix this without making a giant mess, just so every little bit gets some coating and flavor on it. I'm not adding the cilantro directly to it, but if you like cilantro, go ahead and add it here. The other thing you could do is shred an apple and put it in there, and that's really delicious as well. And another little secret ingredient that you can add a little color and just a twist of flavor is a shredded radish. So all kinds of really fun things that you can add in here and give it a little bit different vibrancy depending on what you're feeling. So we're just gonna let that sit there and get a little happy. Nobody wants the quarter. Again, this is also the spot where you could add your creamy sauce if you wanted to. My dad and I had these fish tacos a couple weeks ago, and he made a little sriracha mayo mix, and we added that in because we were going to have it as a drizzle over the top of our fish tacos, and I just mixed it in and it was really good. So that's another way you can do it. So while we let this marry a little bit, I'm also going to slice the pepper and the avocado so you guys can have that on top. Tell me about some of the challenges you guys have with healthy cooking and picking what to cook, you know, because this is how I can learn what other things you all need from me.
I think just finding stuff that's like clean based and with all my gut issues, like that's not going to irritate my gut, and that's my challenge.
That's where kind of going to the basics, sticking to the outer rims of the grocery store, going to a farmer's market is really helpful, is to keep your foods as whole as possible. There are what we call healthy foods that can be harmful for some people, or irritating for some people, so you just pay attention to what your body tells you, you know, how it's responding to a food. But my goal is to increase the amount of colors in your food that you're eating because those have antioxidant properties. We also really like people to have as much organic food as possible, and I'll tell you why. How many of you understand that our bodies are energy, and that frequency can play a huge part in how we can heal and how we're sick? Food that is raised organically and under hardship, you know, out in the elements, actually energetically holds more nutrition and beneficial energy for your body than the greenhouse raised, coddled foods that a lot of us eat out of the grocery store. When we eat food that's suffered some challenges, the hot, the cold, the wind, the rain, the hail, it actually has changes in its DNA that passes on resilience. And we energetically get to eat that when we ingest those foods. And so it's another side of when we eat meat that is harvested. Humane harvesting is really important because those energetics potentially can impact us as well. So do I always get organic? Do I always get, you know, pasture raised? I don't always, but I am aware of how beneficial that is both to the animal and to myself. And so those are reasons behind why sustainable meat harvesting is important. And that's why I appreciate the Wild Alaskan. They don't catch fish, or they'll throw back if they're having a scarcity in one breed or another. So when salmon season is around, you might get coho, you might get sockeye, you might get, there's like one other brand or one other species that they catch and send, but it depends on what is sustainable, because they don't want to over harvest, they don't want to over suppress the population, and they don't want to impair the species' ability to go on. Locally, we have some really great sustainable and kind agriculture. In an agricultural town, sometimes it's a little hard to get people to be on board with that. But Mad Farms, it's Making a Difference Farms, so their chickens are raised in pastures. They're cage free. They're happy. Their family takes really good care of all of their livestock. They raise pigs. They raise beef, and so they don't always have everything all the time because, again, they're trying to honor kind of natural cycles and allow for each of those animals to have a healthy, antibiotic, steroid-free growing cycle. So you don't have a full-sized 12-pound chicken in 6 weeks. They have to let it grow the way it would with nature. So that is, some of the things that I pay attention to with food. So when you're looking for food that's good for your body, that's what I would have you paying attention to as well. So again, we're going to see how this works. I'm going to go grab a towel real quick to get my hands off. Let's see here. So, does anybody hate cilantro? So if I put it on here, it'd be okay. I'm just trying to get it off the table. Is that all right? Okay. All right. So this is out of my.
So you peel the leaves off and the stems and all?
Depends on how quickly I'm cooking. Since I've got a chock full cutting board. When I make salsa, I put the whole thing in. If I make pico or ceviche, maybe that's my dream recipe is ceviche. That would be fun. So, and maybe by then I'll have some homegrown tomatoes. But yeah, I enjoy cilantro a lot. Outside. I've got a couple planters up on the deck, and that's where I've got my herb gardens on my deck. The stuff out in the yard and the main garden is not. With all the rain, the weeds just went berserk, so I've got to go out and recultivate all of that. I don't do a lot, and I'm still learning how to do all the garden stuff, but it looks like the squash is trying to grow. Corn isn't taking off. New asparagus, I don't expect anything out of this year by any means. But we have potatoes and cantaloupe and tomatoes, peppers, strawberries. The strawberries are really thriving right now. So
I looked up the wild Alaska.
Uh-huh.
Coho, sockeye salmon,
Coho.
cod, halibut, and rockfish.
So halibut is a decadent fish that I absolutely adore, and I get the whitefish box because I have a sensitivity. Hey Jerry, a sensitivity to salmon, and I love it, so I still try to eat it every now and then, but I get the whitefish box. So the rockfish, the cod, and the
Pacific cod.
yes,
Halibut and rockfish.
yeah, and the halibut. I love that one. I love it especially if you butter braise it, put it in your skillet, cook it both sides, and then finish it with butter. So you smelt some butter on the side, tilt the pan, and just keep spooning it over.
That's so good.
It's so good.
And you eat it with mango salsa.
I do. I have some mango salsa in the fridge if anybody wants to add that to their fish tacos.
Because mango salsa is
It is so good. I make homemade mango salsa. I did not make it this time because it was at Sam's Club. So. It looks like the oil's getting hot there. Maybe a little more than I usually use at home. I usually just do a little bit. But, so what I'm going to do is just season the fish, drop it in the pan, and by the time I get all of these in here, it'll probably be ready to flip. Like I said, this is one of the fastest meals you can make, because this fish cooks really quickly.
So the wild Alaska boxes, do they usually, is the fish usually consistent
Yes. Oh,
in sizes?
sorry.
Getting a little crazy?
A little pepper. A little bit of the pepper. It's the sizes are all about 6-ounce portions, so that's very consistent. occasionally you'll get like the 6-ounce portion made with 2 tips from the end of a fish fillet. And that's what we don't have here with that hook. I'm sorry. Aaron Fille's Chipotle. I just can't lean over it and talk. But yeah, it's really consistent. Every now and then they have specials, seasonal specials. They'll have scallops. I got halibut cheeks that I'm waiting because my husband won't eat the fish with me. So I'm waiting for my dad, so we'll have another fish piece because we like it a lot. Then crab legs, scallops. Sometimes they'll do a full blue crab where you can, it just depends on what they season or what's getting caught. So my dad gave me this little hot plate just so we could have something here. Like I said, I've never used it before, but it heats nicely and quickly.
So I guess that's something I would like to know is how you do scallops. How do you cook scallops?
In a skillet with salt, pepper, and oil. You can do it in the oven. It's a sense of feel. You start learning when things are done just by the way it feels when you push it with a spatula. It just takes practice. Salt and pepper. Yeah, nothing special because it speaks for itself. The flavors. You can use truffle oil to finish it if you wanted to have a little shishi stuff, but I don't know if you guys noticed that when I brought the fish out and when I started cooking it, it doesn't smell like fish. And so that's the thing I like most about the Wild Alaska is it doesn't ever. And if it were to, you would call and let them know. I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick with this really fast. So maybe come back. So yeah, it takes very little time. I'm just watching those two in the middle to make sure that all of kind of the translucency is gone. Is it getting to you? We can open the door. That's all right. Well, the flies aren't awful, but I just don't want anybody have issues with the pepper. It's a lot. The closer you get, the worse it gets.
I can hold it.
Alright. Just a little bit, just so that we don't. A little fun fact about this place. People who've been in Manhattan a while know this as End Zone Bar. This used to be a bar and grill. And I actually have an industrial kitchen fan, vent hood, back in my storage area. Because if I wanted to have it not be, if I wanted to use it for anything, I would have to get a restaurant inspection. And I didn't want to have to do a restaurant inspection here. So, So, how does anybody have any specific preference on how they dish up their fish tacos? Because I've got the little chipotle bowls. I've got the corn tortillas here. I'm just gonna kind of cut each of these in half. And I think this should do it to yeah. If you need to step outside and take a deep breath, that's okay.
It's surprising.
Yeah. All right. So here we are. So I can kind of make the first one. Yeah, there's our first flies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jerry, if you want to shut it, we're getting flies. Unfortunately.
I know, I've had about 50 in the house for days. They won't die.
I'm gonna go grab a fork for the peppers. But yeah, if you guys want to help yourself, feel free. I'll go grab the fork for the peppers and the avocado, and you guys can enjoy some lunch.
I can smell fish now, just like as fish cooked.
It's aerated through. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we made cod and ate it with mango sauce, and I didn't think it smelled until I came home the next day.
There's a good fork. I'll grab a fork.
I do not know why the water makes such terrible noise myself.
This fork. I like those forks.
Alright, and if you want to make two, I think there's plenty, so feel free. Or if you want to try one on lettuce and one on a corn tortilla, that's all good too.
So you get your Wild Alaska box every week?
No, it's every 3 months for me, 'cause it's about $135 for what I get. It's 12 servings, and I order it about every.
So you're not on auto ship, you just.
I do. I have it on every 3 months, because we don't eat it that fast. Now, if you have a family that ate it fast, we were on monthly for a while, and I ended up with a freezer full of a lot of fish.
Yeah, Dan wouldn't eat the, I don't think Dan would eat the salmon. Although, this morning, I watched a thing on TV and they were making a maple glazed salmon
Uh-huh.
with all the things in the glaze that we should eat,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Well, maple
Sugar,
syrup.
maple syrup.
Sugar,
Oh,
yeah.
no, brown sugar, maple syrup.
For you. I like it.
Yeah, the idea is that you guys eat and enjoy, because I don't want to pack it up and take it home, so feel free to enjoy lunch.
I can smell it in the car.
Yeah.
The water.
Well, I'll eat it anyway. I'll eat this one. But, yeah. I'll get another bowl. All right.
You try I don't know if anybody's familiar with Letterkenny.
Around the escape.
Of all the people. It's super soft.
I would think it's very straight, soft, but it's not something. I think like downy, right? I'm gonna try it.
Right, yeah. I might have to try a little bit. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, that came from the downtown bodega at Arrow. So.
I have a friend who works there. I need to check it out. Oh, it's not spicy at all. They make coffee too, right? Okay, I need to go check it out.
I've started having my morning coffee meetings there.
Not at
Not everything is. Well, I've gone to Flight Crew a couple times. Just trying to spread the love.
I get it. I do the same. What did you put in the slaw? I missed that part. Looks like olive oil, like juice.
Olive oil, lemon juice, and lime juice.
Love it.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna flip this. Does anybody mind if I get comments, impressions? What do you guys think?
Delicious.
Does it feel like something you could do at home really easy? And it's super healthy? It's one of my favorite things. Easy.
Right.
It was my consolation meal when I